There is a blueprint of a building that should not exist. Corridors that bend back on themselves. Doors that open onto brick. A staircase that ends at a ceiling. A room with no windows, sealed by an iron door that only locks from the outside. No architect drew this. The owner designed it himself and made sure no builder ever saw the whole plan. It stood for 8 years on a busy corner in the second largest city in America. And the man who built it was, by every neighbor's account, charming. History gave the building a name, the Murder Castle. Chicago, 1886. A young doctor walks into a corner drugstore in Englewood and asks for work. He is 25, well-dressed, well-spoken. His diploma says University of Michigan. His name, he says, is Dr. Henry Howard Holmes. Neither is quite true. His name is Herman Mugget, and in medical school, his specialty was corpses. He stole cadavers, disfigured them, and passed them off as accident victims. Then he collected on life insurance policies he had written himself. In Englewood, the drugstore's owner conveniently fades from the record. Holmes takes over the business. Customers love him, credit flows, suppliers extend terms, women answer his advertisements for typists and cashiers. Everyone trusts the doctor. That is the first thing he builds. In 1887, across the street from the drugstore, construction begins. 3 stories, a full city block, shops below, apartments above. The neighbors call it the castle. The doctor is his own architect, and he manages the construction in a very particular way. Crews are hired, kept for a few weeks, and fired. Accused of shoddy work, dismissed without pay. Carpenter after carpenter, bricklayer after bricklayer. Over 100 workers pass through. It looks like a cruel way to save money. It is also arithmetic. No single builder ever holds the full plan. Only one man ever knows what the second floor actually is. A corridor that turns 5 times and arrives where it started. Doors that open onto brick walls, stairs that climb into a ceiling, rooms inside rooms, peepholes at eye height, hinges that only work from one side. And at the heart of it, a vault, iron-lined, airtight, soundproof. A room you can walk into and cannot walk out of. Beneath it all, a basement the neighbors never see. A kiln hot enough to bend glass. The doctor's explanation. Barrels of quicklime, bottles of acid, a surgeon's table, and a business arrangement with the city's medical schools which pay cash for articulated skeletons. No questions asked. The building is not a house with secrets. It is a machine wearing a house as a disguise. 1893. Chicago hosts the World's Fair. 27 million people pass through the city in 6 months. The legend says the castle became a hotel, and the hotel became a slaughterhouse for tourists. Keep that legend in mind. We will come back for it. What is true? The city is swollen with strangers, and strangers are what the machine runs on. Women arrive in Englewood the way they have for years. Typists, cashiers, boarders, fiancés. Julia Connor, the bookkeeper's wife, and her daughter Pearl. Gone Christmas of '91. Emmeline Segran, the doctor's secretary. Gone December of '92. Minnie Williams, who signed her Texas inheritance over to him first. Then her sister Nanny, visiting the fair. Gone summer of '93. When anyone asks, the doctor has an answer. She married, she moved west. She left no address. Letters from families arrive at the castle. The replies are warm, helpful, and useless. No bodies, no scenes, no pattern anyone can hold. The geometry absorbs them. Because here is the strangest part. The killing was rarely the point. The point was paper, deeds, inheritances, furniture bought on credit and hidden from creditors inside the vault. And insurance, always insurance. In 1894, the doctor writes his masterpiece, a $10,000 policy on his loyal assistant, Benjamin Pitticell. The plan, as Pitticell understands it, fake his death, split the money. In September in Philadelphia, the insurance company is shown a body. It is not a substitute cadaver, it is Pitticell. The doctor saw no reason to split what he could keep. And to make the identification stick, he brings a helper to the viewing, Pitzel's own 14-year-old daughter, Alice. Then he collects the $10,000 and collects the children too. Alice, Nellie, Howard. He tells their mother they are with their father. He tells the children their father is alive. For 2 months, he moves them from city to city, hotel to hotel, while writing their mother cheerful letters about a reunion that is always one train away. The machine has left the building now. The architecture was never the walls. It travels with him. It ends over $50. A horse swindle in Texas, an old cellmate who talks, and an insurance company that finally checks its arithmetic. Boston, the 17th of November, 1894. The doctor is arrested for fraud. Fraud. That is all they have. The children are still missing. The case lands on the desk of a Philadelphia detective named Frank Geyer. Geyer has just lost his own wife and daughter in a house fire. He takes the file of 3 missing children personally. For weeks, he rides trains across the Midwest with a photograph in his pocket, checking hotel registers one by one. Detroit, Toronto, Indianapolis. The registers spell out the route of a man traveling with 3 children who were never seen leaving. In July in Toronto, a neighbor remembers a tenant who borrowed a shovel. In the cellar of that house, Geyer finds Alice and Nellie. Howard is found a month later in Indiana. What remains of him is in a chimney stove. $50 of horse fraud. That is the thread that pulled the whole structure down. While Geyer digs, Chicago police finally walk into the castle with lanterns. They find the corridors that go nowhere. The vault scratched from the inside. The chute greased, running from the 2nd floor to the basement. The kiln, the lime, the bones that were never sold. The newspapers find the building irresistible. A castle, a labyrinth, a monster in a derby hat. Within a month, someone burns it to the ground. No one is ever charged. In court in Philadelphia, none of that matters. He is tried for 1 murder, Benjamin Pitzel, and convicted in days. Waiting for the rope, he sells Hearst's newspapers a confession. 27 murders in lurid detail. Several of the 27 turn out to be alive. They read about their own murders over breakfast. He was selling monstrosity by the column inch. The press paid full price. On the 7th of May, 1896, he is hanged. The drop fails to break his neck. It takes him 15 minutes to die. His last request, bury him 10 feet down in a coffin filled with concrete so that no one can do to his body what he did to others. The request is honored. The doctor who sold skeletons is the one man guaranteed to keep his own. Now, the legend. 200 victims, a hotel of horrors devouring fair tourists, gas pipes into every bedroom. The record supports almost none of it. The hotel never operated. Of all his victims, exactly 1 had come to town for the fair. The gas jets are newspaper furniture. The confirmed dead number about 9. Most were people who trusted him, employees, lovers, business partners, and their children. 9 is not 200. Here is why 9 is worse. 200 means a monster, an aberration, a story. 9 means a method. A method that worked in plain sight for years because every part of it looked like ordinary business. In 2017, his descendants had the concrete grave open to settle a rumor that he had cheated the rope. The teeth matched. It was him. The only story about H.H. Holmes that ever fully checked out is that he is dead. Today, a post office stands on the corner of 63rd and Wallace. The workers there say the basement sometimes feels wrong. The building believes its own legend now. Strip away the legend and study the machine. 4 components, each one documented. The trustworthy face, a doctor's title, good credit, a warm handshake. Every door in Chicago opened to it. The face was the key that fit all locks. Controlled geometry, a building only its owner understood. 100 builders, each holding 1 meaningless piece. Knowledge itself was the murder weapon. The paper machine. Policies, deeds, aliases. He didn't kill and then profit. He built the profit first, and the killing was its final clause. Erasure, the kiln, the lime, the skeleton trade, not hiding evidence, converting it into cash, into anatomy, into absence. Notice what finally broke it. Not a scream, not a witness, a $50 discrepancy, and one detective reading hotel registers with a photograph in his pocket. The structure was paper. It fell to a man who read the paper more carefully than its author. This is the shape Psych keeps finding underneath every story we tell. Not what happened, what was built to make it possible.